Hey everybody, it's Actual Dragon Tears here. So, let's talk about the laser sight. The one attachment that almost everybody doesn't use. It just remains an empty slot. And that's not really that good. I mean, I'm pretty sure every attachment should have their use. But the problem is, the laser sight just doesn't seem to find its place. So in this video I want to talk about not only its effectiveness but also some ways that it might be able to be improved. First off, I'm going to show you a little test I did. Can it be more in-depth? Yes, it can. I could have gone through every single weapon, and I could have done it from a variety of different ranges, but this was just a simple test to see what simply compare with and without a laser. So what I did was I removed my foregrip, I removed my barrel, and I put either a laser or no laser. And then from there, I lined up in a certain spot, and then tried to replicate the same thing with both attachments and compare how they turned out. So I started with the R4C and I went back to these boxes, aimed at the wall, and just sprayed. And then I did it again with the laser. And from the two we can see that one is actually more horizontal and the other is more vertical, but they're about the same. I then went over to this corner and bursted. And then again with the laser. And what we can see from these two are a very, very minor difference. The laser, of course, is a bit tighter. Then I did it with the MP5. And from these two, similar to the R4C, one's more horizontal and the other is more vertical, but for the most part they're both similar. And then once again I bursted. I actually used a 3-round burst. It worked pretty effectively.
Biohazard container location unknown. Keep it secure.
Okay, so from these two, the MP5 with the laser does look a bit tighter than the one without a laser. But for the most part, it's minuscule. Especially since that's really close, and further back, I'm pretty sure it won't matter. It's going to spread out just as far with or without a laser. So as we can see, the laser doesn't really help all that much. It does seem to flip the cone of fire from horizontal to vertical, and while that might be a bit more helpful for getting those lucky headshots, in terms of actually, well, you know, getting a semi-accurate shot, it's still a random chance on where the bullet is going to land. So that brings us to our first suggestion on how to make the laser sight better, and that is simply to improve its effectiveness. Make it so that at about maybe 10-15 meters, you can have a decently accurate cone of fire. Of course, it's not going to be as good as aiming down sights, so I mean, if you're trying to get the headshot in particular, it might be still a little bit difficult, but when it's one of those quick, unexpected moments of, holy shit, there's a guy in front of me, and you go to shoot, you can actually effectively hip fire them. The next suggestion is the one that everyone always recommends, and that is simply to be able to turn the laser sight on and off. One of the major downsides with the laser sight is that it has the potential to give away your position. If they get a glimpse of your little red ping here and there, then they can know that there's a guy around the corner, which for roamers especially is not really good, especially when you're trying to hide and you're trying to sneak up on them. It's especially hard when you're coming up behind them, they see a laser in front of them, and they're like, wait, that has to come from somewhere, and there's the only place it can come from is behind me. So yeah, that was the second thing you could do. The third thing is actually something that I was thinking about because of this whole Dazzler leaked attachment. Whether it's an attachment or a gadget for a new operator, we aren't too sure. We don't even know if it's official yet. But essentially what a Dazzler is just a strobing laser sight, and it's meant for disorientation. So, what if the laser sight simply just disoriented people? Not make them dizzy and make them slow, just simply if you aim the laser at a person's face, it gives them this kind of red glare, lens flare, whatever you want to call it. Not enough to like completely blind them, but enough to distract them to possibly miss that very crucial headshot in a gunfight. One downside to this, though, that I could think of is that if you are aiming down sights, the laser sight is still on. So if you're aiming down sights and you're aiming at a guy's head, that's going to daze them, and that's kind of a very unfair advantage. And at that point, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be running it, and I quite frankly don't want a red lens flare fiesta going on. So what if they made it so that it was a activated thing, so that when you're not aiming down sights, it's on, but the second you go to aim down sights, it turns off. This is actually realistic to real life, because there are actually grips that have a pressure plate built into them, which allow you to squeeze it to turn it on, release the pressure to turn it off. So those were 3 possible improvements that can be made to the laser sight to make it better. What do you think? Do you think they should do 1, 2, all 3? Leave your comments down below, especially if you have some improvements of your own that you would like to see made. I would love to hear them, and I mean, I've had some pretty good ideas by the viewers, so yeah, I would love to hear them. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a rating if you liked or disliked the video. It helps me out either way. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.